Which of the following structures is not part of the human respiratory system? A. Esophagus. B. Trachea. C. Bronchi. D. Alveoli. The correct answer is A. The esophagus is part of the digestive system, not the respiratory system. During inhalation, the diaphragm contracts and moves. A. Downward. B. Upward. C. Sideways. D. Inward. The correct answer is A. The diaphragm moves downward during inhalation to increase the volume of the thoracic cavity. Which gas is mainly responsible for controlling breathing based on its blood levels? A. Oxygen. B. Carbon monoxide. C. Carbon dioxide. D. Nitrogen. The correct answer is C. Carbon dioxide levels in the blood primarily regulate respiration through chemoreceptors. Gas exchange in the lungs occurs at A. Alveoli. B. Bronchioles. C. Trachea. D. Diaphragm. The correct answer is A. Gas exchange, where oxygen enters the blood and carbon dioxide leaves the blood, occurs at the alveoli. The transport of oxygen in the blood is mainly done by A. Hemoglobin. B. Plasma. C. White blood cells. D. Platelets. The correct answer is A. Hemoglobin in red blood cells carries the majority of oxygen in the blood. Which of the following respiratory volumes represents the maximum amount of air a person can exhale after taking the deepest breath possible? A. Vital capacity. B. Tidal volume. C. Inspiratory reserve volume. D. Expiratory reserve volume. The correct answer is A. Vital capacity is the maximum amount of air a person can exhale after a maximum inhalation. Which regulatory center in the brain controls the basic rhythm of breathing? A. Medulla oblongata. B. Cerebellum. C. Pons. D. Frontal lobe. The correct answer is A. The medulla oblongata, in the brainstem, controls the basic rhythm of breathing. The exchange of gases between the blood and tissues at the cellular level is known as A. External respiration. B. Internal respiration. C. Pulmonary ventilation. D. Respiratory quotient. The correct answer is B. Internal respiration refers to the exchange of gases between the blood and tissues at the cellular level. The volume of air remaining in the lungs after a forced exhalation is called A. Residual volume. B. Inspiratory reserve volume. C. Tidal volume. D. Expiratory reserve volume. The correct answer is A. Residual volume is the volume of air that remains in the lungs after a forced exhalation. Which of the following respiratory volumes represents the amount of air remaining in the lungs after a normal exhalation? A. Tidal volume. B. Inspiratory reserve volume. C. Expiratory reserve volume. D. Residual volume. The correct answer is D. The residual volume is the volume of air that remains in the lungs after a normal exhalation. What is the main stimulus for faster, deeper breathing during exercise? A. Decreased blood pH. B. Increased blood pH. C. Decreased blood oxygen levels. D. Increased blood carbon dioxide levels. The correct answer is D. Increased carbon dioxide levels in the blood are the main stimulus for increasing the rate and depth of breathing during exercise. Which of the following structures in the respiratory system is responsible for producing sound during speech? A. Bronchi. B. Alveoli. C. Trachea. D. Vocal cords. The correct answer is D. The vocal cords are responsible for producing sound during speech in the respiratory system. Which of the following blood cells is primarily responsible for transporting oxygen from the lungs to the body tissues? A. Erythrocytes. B. neutrophils, C. platelets, D. lymphocytes. The correct answer is A. Erythrocytes, also known as red blood cells, are responsible for transporting oxygen from the lungs to the body tissues. Which respiratory control center in the brain coordinates respiratory movements and maintains a normal breathing pattern? A. Pons. B. Medulla oblongata. C. Hypothalamus. D. Cerebellum. The correct answer is B. The medulla oblongata is the respiratory control center in the brain. It's responsible for coordinating respiratory movements and maintaining a normal breathing pattern. Which of the following factors does not affect the rate of gas exchange in the lungs? A. Surface area available for gas exchange. B. Partial pressure difference of gases. C. Thickness of alveolar walls. D. Hemoglobin concentration in the blood. The correct answer is D. Hemoglobin concentration in the blood does not directly affect the rate of gas exchange in the lungs. What is the term used to describe the volume of air inspired or expired during normal breathing at rest? A. Tidal volume. B. Inspiratory reserve volume. C. Expiratory reserve volume. D. Residual volume. The correct answer is A. Tidal volume is the volume of air inspired or expired during normal breathing at rest. Which gas primarily regulates respiration based on its blood and cerebrospinal fluid levels? A. Oxygen. B. Nitrogen. C. Carbon dioxide. D. Hydrogen. The correct answer is C. Carbon dioxide is primarily responsible for regulating the rate of respiration. It does this based on its levels in the blood and cerebrospinal fluid. Which of the following airway structures in the respiratory system is responsible for filtering, warming, and humidifying the inspired air before it reaches the lungs? A. Bronchioles. B. Alveoli. C. Trachea. D. Nasal cavity. The correct answer is D. The nasal cavity filters, warms, and humidifies the air we breathe before it reaches our lungs. Which of the following respiratory volumes represents the air that can never be exhaled from the lungs under normal circumstances? A. Inspiratory reserve volume. B. Vital capacity. C. Residual volume. D. Expiratory reserve volume. The correct answer is C. The residual volume is the air remaining in your lungs after a forceful exhale. It's the air you can never fully breathe out. Which blood component binds with oxygen for transport throughout the body? A. Hemoglobin. B. Platelets. C. Plasma. D. White blood cells. The correct answer is A. Hemoglobin is the protein in red blood cells that binds with oxygen for transport throughout the body, aiding in gas exchange during respiration. What is the name of the structure in the respiratory system where gas exchange occurs between air and blood? A. Alveoli. B. Bronchi. C. Epiglottis. D. Trachea. The correct answer is A. The alveoli are the tiny air sacs in the lungs where the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide between the air and blood takes place. What term describes the total amount of air your lungs can hold after a really deep breath? A. Inspiratory capacity. B. Functional residual capacity. C. Total lung capacity. D. Vital capacity. The correct answer is C. Total lung capacity is the maximum amount of air the lungs can hold at the end of a maximal inspiration, including all respiratory volumes. Which of the following is responsible for initiating the process of respiration in the human body? A. Medulla oblongata. B. Cerebellum. C. Cerebrum. D. Pons. The correct answer is A. The medulla oblongata, located in the brainstem, is responsible for initiating and regulating respiration in the human body. Which of the following gases plays a key role in regulating respiration based on its levels in the blood and cerebrospinal fluid? A. Oxygen. B. Carbon dioxide. C. Nitrogen. D. Argon. The correct answer is B. Carbon dioxide levels in the blood and cerebrospinal fluid are key regulators of respiration, influencing the rate and depth of breathing. What is the term for the amount of air breathed in or out during a normal, resting breath? A. Inspiratory reserve volume. B. Tidal volume. C. Residual volume. D. Expiratory reserve volume. The correct answer is B. Tidal volume is the volume of air inspired or expired during one normal breath taken at rest, representing typical breathing. Where in the lungs does most gas exchange between air and blood happen? A. Trachea. B. Bronchi. C. Alveoli. D. Diaphragm. The correct answer is C. The alveoli are the primary site of gas exchange in the lungs, where oxygen moves into the blood and carbon dioxide moves out during respiration. Which of the following structures helps keep the airway open and prevent its collapse during breathing? A. Alveoli. B. Bronchioles. C. Cartilage rings. D. Surfactant. The correct answer is C. Cartilage rings provide structural support to keep the airway open and prevent its collapse during breathing. What is the role of surfactant in the alveoli? A. To increase surface tension and prevent alveolar collapse. B. To decrease surface tension and prevent alveolar collapse. C. To trap foreign particles and pathogens. D. To regulate blood flow through the alveoli. The correct answer is B. Surfactant decreases surface tension in the alveoli, preventing their collapse during exhalation. Which of the following respiratory volumes represents the amount of air that can be forcefully inhaled after a normal inhalation? A. Expiratory reserve volume. B. Tidal volume. C. Inspiratory reserve volume. D. Residual volume. The correct answer is C. Inspiratory reserve volume represents the additional air that can be forcefully inhaled after a normal inhalation. Where in the respiratory system does gas exchange happen between the alveoli and the capillaries? A. Bronchioles. B. Trachea. C. Alveolar ducts. D. Respiratory membrane. The correct answer is D. Gas exchange occurs across the respiratory membrane, which separates the alveoli from the surrounding capillaries. Which of the following factors does not affect the rate of gas exchange in the lungs? A. Surface area for exchange. B. Thickness of the respiratory membrane. C. Presence of mucus in the airways. D. Partial pressure gradient of gases. The correct answer is C. The presence of mucus in the airways does not directly affect the rate of gas exchange in the lungs. Which of the following regulates the rate and depth of breathing based on carbon dioxide levels in the blood? A. Medulla oblongata. B. Pons. C. Cerebellum. D. Hypothalamus. The correct answer is A. The medulla oblongata regulates breathing based on feedback from chemoreceptors detecting carbon dioxide levels. What term describes the volume of air that can never be exhaled from the lungs under normal circumstances? A. Vital capacity. B. Inspiratory reserve volume. C. Residual volume. D. Expiratory reserve volume. The correct answer is C. Residual volume is the air that remains in the lungs even after a forced exhalation. Which process moves oxygen from the blood into body tissues, and carbon dioxide from the tissues into the blood? A. External respiration. B. Internal respiration. C. Ventilation. D. Perfusion. The correct answer is B. Internal respiration involves gas exchange between the blood and body tissues, where oxygen is taken up and carbon dioxide is released. Which of the following describes the maximum amount of air a person can inhale after a normal exhalation? A. Inspiratory capacity. B. Vital capacity. C. Total lung capacity. D. Tidal volume. The correct answer is A. Inspiratory capacity represents the maximum inhale after a normal exhale. Tidal volume refers to the volume of air A. remaining in the lungs after a normal exhalation. B. Inspired or expired during normal breathing at rest. C. That can never be exhaled from the lungs under normal circumstances. D. Remaining in the lungs after a forced exhalation. The correct answer is B. Tidal volume represents the air inspired or expired during normal breathing at rest. Where does most gas exchange between air and blood happen in the lungs? A. Bronchioles. B. Trachea. C. Alveoli. D. Pharynx. The correct answer is C. The majority of gas exchange happens in the alveoli of the lungs. What is the primary role of surfactant in the alveoli? A. Preventing collapse of the alveoli during exhalation. B. Transporting oxygen from the alveoli to the blood. C. Producing sound during speech. D. Warming the inspired air. The correct answer is A. Surfactant reduces surface tension and prevents the collapse of alveoli during exhalation. Which respiratory volume represents the amount of air that can be forcefully inhaled after a normal inhalation? A. Inspiratory reserve volume. B. Expiratory reserve volume. C. Tidal volume. D. Vital capacity. The correct answer is A. The inspiratory reserve volume is the extra air you can forcefully inhale after a normal breath. Where in the respiratory system does gas exchange occur between the alveoli and the capillaries? A. Bronchi. B. Trachea. C. Bronchioles. D. Alveolar sacs. The correct answer is D. Gas exchange takes place between alveoli and capillaries in the alveolar sacs. What is hemoglobin's main job in blood gas transport? A. Warming the blood. B. Carrying carbon dioxide to the lungs. C. Carrying oxygen throughout the body. D. Filtering blood impurities. The correct answer is C. Hemoglobin binds with oxygen for transport to body tissues during gas transport. Which of the following regulates the rate and depth of breathing based on carbon dioxide levels in the blood? A. Medulla oblongata. B. Pons. C. Cerebellum. D. Hypothalamus. The correct answer is A. The medulla oblongata, in the brainstem, regulates breathing based on carbon dioxide levels. Which process moves oxygen from the blood into body tissues, and carbon dioxide from the tissues into the blood? A. External respiration. B. Internal respiration. C. Pulmonary ventilation. D. Cellular respiration. The correct answer is B. Internal respiration involves gas exchange between blood and body tissues. Which of the following determines the movement of gases during respiration in the body? A. Diffusion. B. Filtration. C. Active transport. D. Osmosis. The correct answer is A. During respiration, gases move primarily by diffusion, from areas of higher concentration to areas of lower concentration. This facilitates gas exchange in the lungs and tissues.